Good morning. I'm Paul Turner, Social Studies Coordinator, Kansas City Public Schools. Today, we're here to talk to you about 8th grade United States history, life before European exploration. We're going to talk about the Native Americans, how they got here, and basically the life they lived before Europeans encroached in their territory. How did the Native Americans get here? This land bridge, basically that connects from Alaska, from Russia, basically the Native Americans came over through their different time periods. If you can see this is a straight out of Africa model. Basically, this happened over 100,000 years ago. Africans started spreading to basically Europe about 40,000 years. Then in that time frame, about 70,000 years, they started spreading over to basically Southeast Asia. Then from there, they started spreading over to the Americas. And they came over at different time frames. If you can see this, the first ones started settling in Alaska. We'll call those the Inuit Native Americans. Then we have another group that came over about 12,000 years ago. They spread down south, all the way to South America. Then another group about 4,500 years ago spread more eastward. They spread over to basically northeast Canada, basically to northeast United States. So we have to understand that the Native Americans are not like just monolithic people. These are different groups of people. These are different tribes. They have different connections. They all have different origin stories. So, let's talk about the Aztec, Mayas, and the Incas. These guys had different, basically, kingdoms. These guys had different empires. And if you can see, they had covered vast amounts of territory. You have the Aztecs in northern Mexico, the Mayas in Central America, and the Incas in South America. And basically, these groups, they did feud with one another when they came to combat, but most of the time, they're basically left to themselves. They took over these smaller tribes in the area and used them basically as human labor and human sacrifices. Okay, these Native American tribes all live differently. If you can see from this map, basically, these up north, they live this subsistence lifestyle, basically use the fishing. They use the ocean to basically take care of themselves. If you can see down here in this area, they basically use a lot of farming. This area, they use a lot of trade. So none of these groups actually live the same way. They all live differently. And that's what we like. So if you had a stereotype where they all live the same way, they all ate the same food, no, they didn't. They all basically ate different foods. They basically took care of themselves a whole different way. They traded a whole lot differently too. Okay, we're going to talk about corn. Back then, they called it maize, all right? So maize actually came up through Mexico. They traded basically through the southeast United States. And basically, this helped basically expand the basic population of Native Americans here. This helped expand trade routes. This helps expand relationships. And guess what? They actually fought wars over this too. So with corn, we all like it. We all like to eat off the cob. But understand that this basically changed the Native Americans' lifestyle. All right, the Pueblo Indians. These guys settled basically New Mexico area. They're still around today. But these guys use irrigation techniques because guess what? They settled like in these desert areas. So they needed water to be brought in. So they set up these large communities. This is the community that they lived in. So they had to set up irrigation to get to their farming. So when they did that, this actually created basically a new lifestyle for them and their trading partners. So this community with the Pueblo, basically it was a large trading city. Loosely, they had the common language and basically common root language. Understand that these are different tribes. Before European encroachment, you have to understand that these Native Americans had huge cities. Huge cities. All right? Up here, we're gonna call these the Inuit and Native Americans. Basically, colloquially y'all call them Eskimos, and that's basically the wrong term. The Inuit Native Americans. All right. So here they relied a lot on fishing. They relied a lot on hunting. All right. They relied on trading partners through the South. The California Native Americans, they relied a lot of trading with the Inuit Native Americans. But again, they had a different lifestyle. They relied on fishing, they relied on hunting, but at the same time, their lifestyle was totally different than the Pueblo Indians and New Mexico. All right, the Great Basin, the Native Americans. These the guys that, you have this, stereotypical, these guys are inward, right? So they did a lot of hunting compared to fishing like these guys on the coast did. So their lifestyle is totally different than what the Inuits and the Pueblos. The Cayuga, all right? Cayuga is this huge city, basically accommodate East St. Louis, Illinois, right outside basically St. Louis. This is a huge city. At the highest level, it was over 20 million Native Americans that basically would trade within the city. All right, so it was huge. It was massive. All right, this happened right here in Missouri, right? So when we talk about this, you have to understand Europeans were late to the game, right? You had different civilizations in Africa that were basically massive. You had civilizations in North America that were massive. Europeans didn't reach their greatness till about 1500 and after that. Because guess what? The Native Americans had their greatness, Africans had their greatness, Asians had their greatness. So basically Europeans were late to the game when they started exploration. We have to understand that this is a diverse group. Despite the diversity, sometimes we share characteristics, all right? Again, the agricultural revolution, as we talk about these massive cities, helped spur basic population growth and a sedentary lifestyle. Gender roles. Tasks were divided up and tend to be more power within families. So gender roles are broken up within families. And sometimes women actually held basically a more powerful role than men. So now you have this traditional, Western society of gender roles. Sometimes women actually made all the decisions. And again, this is all the tribes here in America. For 8th grade social studies, you have to understand that there was a massive amount of tribes in North America before the Europeans started coming in. And as you can see, this is how they were broken up. Again, gender roles, you have basically had women and men working side by side, basically make sure that farm, basically make sure that that seed planted on the farms. So, when the Europeans came to America, they introduced new technology, new animals came to America. So the horse changed the lifestyle of Native Americans in North America when Europeans started coming in. That made them more mobile. So, before European encroachment, we have to understand that Native Americans had these huge cities, right? They basically were living their greatness until Europeans came over. Through disease, warfare, and other things, basically dwindled the population of Native Americans from 20 million down to 2 million within 100 years later. So, this is what I want you to do. We know why Europeans started coming to America, right? We know that basically they needed more land. They were in basically this exploration. I want you to basically look what kind of food that you got in your cabinets. I want you to basically do a little research on the food. If you got like some corn, we know where it came from. I want you to look at green beans, see where they came from. And basically think about how your food from 1500 to today, how it changed. I'm Paul Turner, Social Studies Coordinator, Kansas City Public Schools. Talk to you guys later.